Welcome back to Pod at the Pod Place. We've got me and Noah here again. Noah, say hi.
What's up, guys?
And Noah actually just finished off a day
Yeah,
of sessions.
done.
So I feel like that's part of the charm here is like we really want it to be like something we do just to kind of convene and like get to like chatting about stuff we're interested in. So how are you doing?
Doing good, man. Yeah, it was a good day today. So
Good.
I'm ready to get into these topics, man.
All right, yeah. So first thing I wanted to cover is something that kind of affects our industry, and this is fairly old news, but it's still going to be rolling out. Is that Netflix now has podcasts?
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, what does that mean to you? Like, what do you think of when you hear that Netflix has acquired, is like starting this whole podcasting market? Like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think in their case, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be integrating it. When I think of it, because when I think of Netflix, I think of obviously Netflix originals, and I'm thinking about how they might be able to implement their casts into podcasts for their shows. And I don't know, maybe it's an after show thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, the idea of a Netflix podcast, I mean, that could mean anything.
I mean,
really.
yeah. I think if you're a classic podcast listener, right?
Yeah.
Like the origin of the word podcast. Like, do you know the word origin of it?
I actually don't know.
So
No.
it's kind of just as it is. So pod comes from iPod.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It actually comes from iPod. So this
Wow.
is something I learned is that it comes from iPod and then it's a portmanteau of iPod and broadcast.
Oh, wow.
So it's effectively supposed to be a broadcast for the iPod, but like the iPod didn't have like
Yeah.
a radio antenna.
Yeah.
But what I think the routine people had is that you would have subscriptions to certain podcasts, and then those episodes you would, because overnight you would sync your iPod to your computer, and I think overnight it would like sync and download new episodes of podcasts so that like every day you would have like a new thing to listen to, or like you would have a backlog of like old podcasts you could listen to. So that's where it comes from. So we're talking about an audio only format for a really long time too.
Right.
And so we've moved on, like it used to be audio only. There are a lot of people that still insist on running an audio only podcast. And now we have video podcasts, which is what we do, right? Yeah. We do audio and video podcasting. But now we're seeing a streaming service kind of come in and say that we're doing podcasts, we're doing video podcasts, right? And I don't think they have any plans in their app to do like kind of like offline or like in the background play of it. It's very much a direct decision to say this is something that people sit down on the couch and watch on their television together. And so that kind of signals a shift in how we consume podcasts and how that's kind of changed, right?
Right.
So like what is your relationship to podcasting, right? Because we work in a studio, but we both listen to podcasts directly. Like, are you a TV like guy or like are you audio only? Like, where are you at with that?
Right, and I'll be real. I actually don't watch much TV. I think a lot of my entertainment consumption is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think as everyone nowadays goes to, but I do watch video podcasts on YouTube. I'm not too much of a, I think everyone at this point doesn't really watch cable. So I guess when it comes to that, I think Netflix is getting the jump on capitalizing on the current market because I would say like the lifeline of traditional TV broadcast is not as profitable and not as popular as it once was. But I think, like as for me, I'm very much kind of, my relationship with podcast definitely is more on, combining the elements of video together with it. Because, for me, I also watch podcasts in the background too, much like everyone else, but I do like having the video aspect of it too.
Right.
And it creates a bit of relatability as well. Like you're not just hearing someone talk, you're also seeing someone talk. And I think that kind of builds into the personal aspect of it too.
I got to ask.
Yeah.
Are you a YouTube on the TV guy?
YouTube on the no, I'm not.
No?
I'm surprised. No, I'm not. Well, I don't go and really watch my TV as much. I usually just have it either on my phone or I just throw it up on my desktop sometimes. But no, actually, surprisingly, I don't really watch YouTube much on my TV.
No,
but
I have to admit something to you.
Yeah.
I am a serial YouTube on the TV.
Really?
I love watching YouTube on my TV, and it's kind of a problem.
Really?
Because there's so much content. So I switch frequently between watching long form stuff and watching short form stuff. So if I'm watching enough short form stuff, I'll just keep going and going and going and going. And I have to admit, like a pretty terrible habit I have to you too. Mm-hmm. I watch the shorts on the TV too.
Oh, you watch the shorts on the TV?
On the TV.
How does that even work?
Well, okay, so it's
because I usually watch it on my phone. So
it's exactly what you think it looks like. You'll pull up. It'll have recommended shorts, and then you click on one, and then it'll show up vertical video on the TV.
That's crazy.
But you hit down,
goes down,
goes to the next one.
Jeez,
There's no swiping involved, and so I have caught myself frequently for like maybe 20 minutes sitting there watching. This is a terrible thing.
Yeah, just
I don't
down,
like. No, I don't like admitting to it, but this does happen to me, and whatever, it's the same algorithm. Yeah. So I'm getting all of the content I could be watching on my phone, just on the television. I think there's something that makes me feel maybe better about it, that I'm not hunched down looking at my phone. Right. But it's not any better when I'm just like lying back, half asleep, and then I've watched maybe the same short 5 times because I can't be bothered to hit down on the remote. Down.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
so that's my relationship with it. And so like in the mix of watching a lot of YouTube on TV is also like the podcasts I watch. But I'm noticing like a big uptick in like people really digging into the visual of it all. Because now because before people would do like game show episodes for podcasts. That's like a pretty popular format. Yeah. Now I'm seeing ones where they're just it's straight up all visual. Like I watched an episode of the Waveform podcast where literally the entire main section of the podcast was comparing visual like photographs.
Oh, wow.
And they would describe them for the audio listeners. Right. But at the same time, this is an episode that is clearly designed with the intention that this is for video, for video watchers, people that watch the podcast instead of just listening to it. So like that to me, I think shows that I think most people know that that's where the money is right now, right?
Right.
Like everyone that does their podcast on YouTube has to do a visual for it, and that's becoming the primary content over the audio itself.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. And even a podcast I watch, I'm a big Caleb Hammer YouTube person. I like watching his financial takes on everyone. Yeah, he brings onto their show, and he, like I said, like you were saying, like all the visuals, like the spending and the amount, and like the itemized like lists, like you can only experience that if you're watching it on video. Yeah. So like very much it is pivoting toward that, and like I said, Netflix is, I guess, taking advantage of the new medium. That's I wouldn't even say new medium. It's just it's an updated form of medium that has existed.
Yeah, I mean that's always been my argument. Is I always saw podcasting as just like it's just the new TV. It's just what people watch now, right? Like back then, if you were listening, you would listen to the radio. You would watch TV. Yeah. There was no intention of watching a specific thing. Now that we have the benefit of choice, now people are seeking out their own like content that they want to see, and so like that podcasting, like the podcasting landscape is just that specifically now. Okay, so that's something I wanted to talk about because we're in the audio visual like podcasting space, and like seeing a bigger emphasis on video makes our job more interesting because now people are looking for people like us to make the whole video part of it happen. But anyways, something else I wanted to talk about with you is these memory prices.
Oh yeah.
So I actually remember. So this is a little story I had. Is I had to go. My friends hired me to shoot their wedding, and love them dearly. And the day I was like going to go, I realized I didn't think about it. I knew I was good on SD cards. Like I had enough to last throughout the day, but I thought to myself, well, maybe I could like quickly run to Target, grab a backup. And there was barely a selection.
Really?
It was only micro SD, which would have been fine, but they're less reliable on the video side of things or like on the photo side of things. So I don't like banking on micro SDs. Yeah. They didn't have like the model of like pretty standard, like the SanDisk Extreme Pro, like a 128 gig one that is normally like what, $30.
Yeah.
They didn't have any.
Wow.
I went to Target. They didn't have any. No, actually, what also happened was the day before that, I think I went to Best Buy.
Okay.
They also didn't have it. They only had the higher tier, like, gold cards they do.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
They only had that. They didn't have any of the Extreme Pros, which are, like, the more popular ones for video. Oh, because it's UHS 3. So you could do do 4K video on it is why.
Right.
So they didn't have that. And so I ended up buying just a 32 gig one as, like, a backup card. But... like, we run on flash storage. Like, you're in a creative space, you function off of flash storage, which is really unfortunate.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know have you tried to buy a drive recently?
Yeah.
Or, like, any sort of memory?
Gosh, you know what's funny is, like, now I know about the rise in price of storage and SD cards and not just SD cards, but yeah, like hard drives. The prices have gone up. I haven't bought anything recently, but it's interesting that you're saying that because the last time I bought an SD card, which was a few months ago, actually, I think it was like October.
Yeah.
I did buy an SD card, and like I said, there was now that you're telling me this, like, it's crazy because like there was a good inventory amount of SD cards.
Yeah.
And I think the one I bought was like between $30 to $50.
No, yeah, that's most. The other part of it. It's
yeah.
Like even if they do have the cards, they're way more expensive.
They're a lot more expensive than they were probably a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You used to be able to like pick up for like a regular SD card. 1 terabyte was like what? Like
dude,
$80?
Probably definitely like less than 100.
It's probably like double now. I'm looking at an article from DP Review that says it's 100% markup on 100% price increase on all SD cards, on almost all flash storage. And so we're coming ahead. Like we bought like external SSD for one of our studios, and that same drive cost double, like almost exactly double what it used to cost, right? And so the other part of this is that Micron that owns Crucial. So they do a lot of internal, external SSDs. Those are actually the drives I buy for myself to like back up photos and have like an archive of like stuff that I've done that they have backed out of the market completely.
Really? Like, so completely?
This is not a new story. They announced this a while back, but due to the like
even more so now.
Yeah, well, insane demand from these data centers that are buying out basically a lot of prospective buyouts of a lot of their memory. Right. Is what I believe it is. So much so that that Micron has pulled out of the consumer market. So that has also made it so that there is less in the wild now. So now there's competition between people that were Crucial customers that are probably now have to go to like Samsung or SanDisk to like get all that. So we are deeply affected by this. We have not bought new SD cards for this year. Actually, we did like not too long ago. I think he said that I think Oscar said that they were way more expensive to like do now, and so that's brutal. I mean, do you think there's an end in sight for this? Like, what can we do at this point? It just seems a little hopeless.
It does seem a bit hopeless. Like, it's just hard when, like the constant demand for like these AI data centers, right, and everything. They're building up really quickly now. I mean, the only thing is, if the hype were to die down a bit, I mean, I don't know. That's the only possible way I can think of, or unless someone can, or like a new
new player
in the market can come in or possibly like and I know still like hardware is still essential if you're filming real content, but possibly a competitor or player in the cloud storage space can come. I don't know. Maybe cloud storage just might be the new thing at this point. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see about that. But weirdly enough, I think right now it actually would be cheaper to buy a brand new computer with its own storage than it is to buy an external drive right now. Speaking of which, Apple has a new computer, and I wanted to know what you thought about this, right? Okay. So you are a Windows guy.
Yes, I am.
You're a Windows guy. I'm a Mac guy. I've been a Mac guy for, I want to say, 2 years now. I did not used to be. I was hardcore Windows all the way. I had a Windows desktop, and I had a Microsoft Surface laptop, and I used that throughout pretty much the majority of my college days. But Apple has released a new MacBook Neo.
Okay.
That is $600. It's running on an A19 Pro chip. So it's the same chip that is in the 17, or I think A18. But the A18 Pro. So it's the same chip that was in the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So they've taken that processor, put it into a full laptop. I think it maxes out at 8 gigs of RAM, which I believe is a limitation of the chipset. Yeah. And then I think it comes base with 256 gigs of storage. Now, how much do you think that costs?
Are you talking about the laptop? Like the
did I say how much it costs?
You did. Oh, you did. No, you're good. You're good. But the tech that's in it though. Yeah. But I get where you're going with this. Like with the tech in it, the amount of storage, the RAM, and the actual processor and everything. You said it amounted out to like $600, right?
$600.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about the pricing for that?
I think it's going to be weird, right? Yeah. So Apple is notoriously more expensive on the market for a lot of their technology. Maybe not so much these days, just because memory prices affected weird things, and Apple's sort of managed to like get around that on their consumer hardware. But $600 is a lot, but it is less than every single laptop they sell, right? And I think at $600 you're competing with a weird subsection of the Windows market, right? And then also, like, if we're to bring Chromebooks into the conversation, which is clearly what this is meant to compete with, which is even weirder. I think a problem, as weird as $600 is, I think it's at least fair, because I think you're getting a pretty decent amount of hardware, like full aluminum build, like a really nice, like bright screen. It's well engineered, and it's 256 gigs of storage. So that's at least worth something. So I think it's at least fair, but I'm also somebody that buys Apple products. Yeah. So in my head, fair isn't the same as like the other land in the market. But you also have to think of like the this mid-range like laptop market, or like at least in that price range, is so saturated by a bunch of options. Nobody has any idea what they're buying on that end. Right. I've tried to look for laptops and like various price ranges, and I can never tell like where my value should lie, right? Because like there's all sorts of like different chipsets now between AMD and Intel, and like I understand that market, or I understand that landscape to a degree. But like with laptops, it's so weird. Yeah. I think with $600, you're getting a pretty nice base package of things, right? And speaking like, this is meant to compete with Chromebooks as it is. But people have gotten their hands on it. They've reviewed it now, and they have been doing like 4K video editing, like pretty hardcore photo editing. Wow. I watched a video someone mentioned a video by Tyler Stallman. Where he had 40 apps open at once, and it still performed straight out the gate. So that's something that's always been good about Apple, is memory management, and so they've always been able to do good on like keeping apps idle to like increase performance in other places. So, which is good, because if you're somebody who's in school, like you don't want to think about your performance, right? You just open stuff.
You really do.
You just open stuff, you keep stuff open. Most people don't pay attention to that kind of thing. And so I'm wondering, from your end of things, is this something that is like at least interesting from somebody who's probably not ever been interested in a MacBook or any sort of Mac OS computer?
And as much as I am not really a Mac person in general, I think it's still good to have a Mac option that's within that price range, because as we all know, MacBooks are typically higher in price. But still, and look, I also not really a fan of Chromebooks either. Chromebooks are notorious to be, at least everyone in school finds them to be complete trash. They're not really the best performing, but they're there just for schoolwork. But from what you're telling me though, about like Apple getting involved in this space, I mean, it could shake up the landscape of the Chromebook or any kind of laptop that's within that school usage kind of area,
entry level computers, basically.
It's going to definitely shake it up, and I think it's good to kind of I would say to kind of push Chromebook to try a little harder.
Yeah,
Right?
I have so much beef with Chromebook.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Not necessarily. Well, my beef comes from the fact that my little brother needed to get a Chromebook for school, or at least he needed like a laptop or something that he could use for work in school. I think he specifically needed a Chromebook, is what I'm remembering. When I tried to like look up what like a sub like $400 like Chromebook was, there were such weird options across the board. Some had old chips, some had like really low power MediaTek chips, some were tablets straight up. And there was like barely like there was no like get this. Right?
None of that.
There was no get this option. Like this is a good laptop that's guaranteed to last, has decent build quality and decent performance. There was not that. And what made me so mad is I remembered that Google used to sell it. So I don't know if do you remember Pixelbooks?
I do. Yeah, I vaguely remember.
Okay, so they had two different kinds of Pixelbooks.
Yeah.
They had the Pixelbook, which was $1,000.
Okay.
It had I think it had the option for like a Core i5, Core i7 model.
Yeah.
And this was supposed to be their high-end Chrome OS offering, right?
Right.
But nobody bought it. It had good build quality, had a nice screen, had all that, right? Good performance. But the problem was that it was a $1,000 Chromebook. Are you going to spend $1,000 on a Chromebook?
No.
Frankly, no, right? But they had a different one, right? They had a different Pixelbook called the Pixelbook Go, which had like i3, i5, i7 model. It was a plastic build, but it was like higher quality plastic, and it was, I think, $400 at that time.
Okay.
It did run Chrome OS, but it had better performance than like your standard like Intel Atom or like Core M like Chromebook or whatever MediaTek like laptop they had out in the wild. It was better than all of those. $400 I think was good for people who just needed a laptop. This could do basic like web tasks. It could do like it had G Suite, so you could do all that. Like I think like potentially, I don't know if Canva was a thing at the time, but you could probably do Canva. Yeah. I think a separate problem you ran into is that it only supported the Android version of like Adobe apps. There's no like official Adobe ports. I think it's like the for Chrome OS. Like there's none of that. So they had this. It was $400. It also did not sell well. Wow. Because I think even at that time, people still thought that was too expensive to spend on something that had such a limited set. So Google used to sell that, and I thought if they had been able to get that to like, if Chrome OS had gotten a little better, maybe it had more software support, I think that would have sold better. And that to me was like, should have been like what the gold standard is for Chromebooks. Instead, there's all of these like wild, like cheap options now. And so I look at the MacBook Neo as like what like Google should have done. Yes. But to be fair, they have a leg up in other things, right? Like they leg up in other things. Apple makes their own chips. Like this is just an old like phone chip that they're using. Yeah, of course. But they also have Mac OS, which they can run on ARM chips now. And so this is a huge step forward for like people that want to get into like light creative work, right? Because if you can just run Lightroom Classic, you can do like good photo editing. You could probably do like some like video editing. Like Apple offers their Creative Suite now at like a cheaper, like a monthly subscription. So like if you're somebody that uses that, you can definitely run it on the MacBook Neo. And Noah, I saved this stat because I wanted to. I'm excited. I wanted to tell you this because I thought you would at least find this interesting. Okay. They've been doing benchmarks for it, so they've scored it against other Apple like chips. I watched like Dave 2D. Normally I don't go to this for. This MacBook Neo technically outperforms our current editing workstation. Really? Yes. Like on the Mini? Yes. What? Yes. We're running an M1 Mac Mini. Yeah. Right, which is great. It works fine. Yeah, it works. It does. Incredible for all the video editing that we do. Yeah. This technically outperforms it.
Wow.
It's marginal. It's not like insane.
Yeah, no, it's not insane, but like matching it at the very least.
I think single core, it's like too close to even be significant. Multi-core, I think it did much better, which is what theoretically what we're doing when we're video editing.
Yeah.
So this $600 entry-level laptop that's meant to be used for Canva. They actually advertise it as using all of Apple Intelligence like features and such. Is technically better than our current editing workstation.
That is insane. That is crazy to hear.
$600.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's the same price as that Mac Mini when it came out. I think
when it first came out.
Yeah, it was roughly, I think, $500, $600.
Wow. But still, though, like regardless, like
something to think about.
Yeah, it is something to think about. Yeah, and like on the topic before of like, you know, what I think about having this new product within this line of like laptops. I think it is essential. Like, okay, so when someone or a parent, let's just say, like, when a parent asks, hey, my kid's going to school soon, what do I get them for a laptop? People are going to say Chromebook, right? And we all know that Chromebook, you know, doesn't perform the best, you know, performance-wise in general.
It's not even for me. It's not even performance with the Chromebook because it can literally do whatever it wants. I think there's such a limited software environment when you're relying on a Chromebook, right? Because like you're down to things like web apps and whatever you could potentially find in the Play Store that will support Chrome OS,
that's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
So, so like we're talking about $600 laptop, like the budget option from Apple that does support the entire Adobe suite. Yeah. And is at the very least like partially optimized for it because they're optimized for Apple Silicon now. Yeah. And like and so I guess like the point I'm going with is like there needs to in that market there needs to be something that is higher performing, and that is what Apple brings. 100%. So yeah, totally. Okay, last thing I wanted to share with you, and this is just a fun story from like my side of things because I'm more in the photo side. Yeah. You're more video. Yeah. There's a company called I'm Back. Okay. Which never heard of them. But yeah. So this is a crowdfunded startup. Their whole goal is to add digital sensors to analog cameras. Oh. Okay. So they've had a couple versions of this. They had I think a Micro Four Thirds version of it, and effectively what it is like a sensor, like a camera sensor that's attached to like a fake roll that you can like snap into the back of your camera. But I think older versions of it had all of the like electronics on the outside, so there would be a housing that you would screw into the bottom of your camera, and so that would run the majority of the like image processing part of it. So they've announced a new version that's not only a bigger sensor, it's going to be an APS-C size sensor over a Micro Four Thirds. They're advertising that the entire like all of the electronics, battery, image processing, storage is going to be housed in the fake roll, and so the entire thing will be inside the camera. Wow. So here's my thing. Interesting. Yeah. This sounds cool. Right. From when you just hear this out loud, I was like, wow, that's a way to add like a digital sensor to an old camera, right? That sounds cool. I struggle to find who the buyer is. I didn't think about. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Who is this for? Because I feel like if anyone is shooting on analog, I feel like they want to shoot on analog for the sake of analog. Yes. Right. Well, the idea is that what's fun about analog is being able to try different film stocks, right? Right. So like I shoot a lot of Kodak stuff. Yeah. There's Lomography has like a ton of them. There's a ton of ones. There's ones that people like make or like get or like have made. They sell like independent sellers that sell their own kinds of film stocks as like a business. So that's a huge thing. So for me, taking away the aspect of being able to try different film stocks to me doesn't quite make sense. Yeah. And I say this as somebody that does own a camera that it is compatible with. Right. But I think the problems you'll run into is this. One, like even upgrading from a 4/3 to an APS-C sized sensor, you're still getting a crop on it So like
Yeah.
APS-C
Yeah.
is a smaller sensor, so it
Right.
crops the image down, but it's like the same megapixel
Yeah.
count.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
But it'll crop it. It has a crop factor of 1.5 or like 1.5 on APS-C. So like
yeah.
your whatever, if like you have a 50 mil
Mhm.
lens, that'll turn into a 75 millimeter.
Yeah.
28, it'll turn into like a 40 millimeter.
Right.
So that's kind of also limiting like
Yeah.
your options. Like I would be hard pressed to find, like if I wanted to shoot at like a 30 mil like field of view,
Field of view. Yeah.
I think I would find it difficult to find an 18 millimeter
Yeah.
FD lens at least. Maybe it exists,
Yeah. Maybe.
but like now you're limiting your
But you're
options.
limiting yourself. Yeah.
You're limiting your options
Yeah.
on lenses, and you're also like, this is something you have to charge.
Yeah. Right. You're right. You have to charge a film camera. How
Do
does
you
that
charge
even
a film
work?
camera?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
to
No.
be fair,
No. But yeah.
some film cameras
Yeah.
have batteries.
Okay.
Mine does, but that's for the light meter, and I think
Right,
that
right.
affects some of the electronics inside the camera as well.
Right.
But
But it's not
the-
going to stop your.
But the battery also lasts way longer than whatever
Yeah.
small lithium-ion batteries inside it, and also there are a lot of film cameras that people pick up because they're
Yeah.
entirely mechanical. There is no
Right.
there is no like electronic component
Yeah.
into it whatsoever. Leica sells one of these, I'm pretty sure, and like that has been like that is something people want out of cameras like this, is like
Yeah.
you don't need to charge a battery
Yes.
to operate it, or at the very least, if you have a battery in your camera, you bring a spare, you swap it out, and you're
There you
good
go.
to go.
And you're good for the whole day.
so
essentially.
I think
Yeah.
what I wanted to ask you is
Yeah.
this in any way appealing to someone like you that
Right.
is outside, you don't shoot analog,
Yeah. No.
would having a digital sensor
Mhm.
in your camera be in any way convincing to you?
Dang. That's kind of hard to really think about. But this is for me. And like I mentioned before, if I were to shoot, like I said, if I were to shoot analog or
Yeah.
shoot film, I think the special part of it for me is doing everything in the special, traditional way. Like you're
Yeah.
not utilizing any kind of digital elements into it, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's what other people like when they shoot film, and they also shoot digital. They do the film for the sake of just doing the art, right?
Yeah.
I think this product in particular is it's going to be a very niche kind of audience, I think.
So the way I
Yeah.
think about it, right, is if you're somebody that owns
Yeah.
like a lot, maybe like you have a couple 35 mil bodies and you're at least interested in getting some more life out of it, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like maybe you have a faulty mechanism, or like something that doesn't let you like spool film
Yeah.
anymore for whatever reason, right? Like maybe that, or well, actually I don't even know. I don't quite know the
Yeah.
specifics of how it works.
Right.
But for me, the concept itself was so fascinating because I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
really think of a reason why. Because the only argument I could think of is if you wanted to use vintage glass, right?
Okay.
Something that natively supported like older
Right.
lenses, but there are adapters for that.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah.
get, if you have like old FD lenses, you can get an FD to like E mount or like X mount.
Right.
Or
to
like
get any kind of adapter. to-
right, yeah, you can get adapters for old lenses and shoot on an
Yeah.
electronic image sensor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's a movie, Civil War,
Yeah.
directed by Alex Garland. That I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
The photographer in the movie, the main character, uses a Leica like Summicron 35
Yeah.
on a Sony A7R5 body with an adapter.
Wow.
That is something you can do.
Wow.
I thought that was cool.
That was pretty cool.
Because it's like you
actually.
can shoot on that glass on like a high resolution sensor.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is you're limited by like the actual sensor itself. You're relying on their technology to do a good job of the processing. But like if you go out there
Yeah.
and get like a digital camera body, you can get an APS-C sized body for pretty cheap. Get a vintage get a vintage adapter
and then
for
just
older lenses and just shoot on that.
shoot on. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah, what is and that's a good question, is what is this niche target audience? Like, I don't
really
know.
don't know. I mean, I suppose it exists if you wanted that old style of body,
Mm-hmm.
but I have no idea. I wanted to present this to you because me, I follow a lot of the camera space. Try to follow the industry as much as I can.
Yeah.
I try to like look into communities that I find interesting. It's like, what does this? I just want to know what this sounds like to you, because to me, I'm struggling to figure out like how I don't know the price of it. If it's cheaper, then sure. But I'm struggling to figure out what the consumer base is for this, and does this even sound appealing to people like that aren't camera nerds, or like what is it? What does this even mean to people that aren't, or like photography, like analog film nerds?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I mean, I think maybe it's good for people who are new to that type of photography, or if they want to do that, but I don't even know. That's the thing. I don't know how it works, right? I don't even know. I feel like it would be more difficult learning how to use it, like if you're trying to
100%.
Yeah, like
I also don't know how it does.
Yeah, like
I don't know how it does like half of the things, so I would have to look into it a little bit more. But like this concept of like using an old camera with a digital sensor at least sounds interesting, but then like, when I tried to like think in my head like who wants it?
Who does want this? It's like I said, it's such a niche product. It's such a niche like market to like really target for sure.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
Anyways, we'll end it there. I'm clearly riled up, but we'll end it there, guys. Thanks for tuning back into Pod at the Pod Place. We'll probably do this a little bit more, try to get a good flow going, and talk about stuff you guys are interested in, and see what the world's like right now.
Yeah, man. Cool, and we will see you guys next time.